What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of Blue Book Milwaukee and MoreLeadSteve.com, the lead generation course, the best lead generation course on the market. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the three main problems I see why businesses fail. Now, imagine this. Imagine waking up in the morning, the sun is shining through the windows or through the curtain, a little peak is going through there, and you're well rested, you're feeling great and fine, and you know that you've probably made money while you were sleeping, or you have a boatload of people, or a few people waiting to talk to you about your product or service. That's a good feeling to have when you're in business, because one of the most one of the most fearful things that any business owner has is that they won't have customers, or that they won't have people to talk to who are interested in what they have with their products and service. So I call this my three big problems why businesses fail. So you're going to want to pay attention to this. I'm going to go over some things the way that I see it. And when I talk about building a business, I'm talking about from the bottom up. There's a lot of people out there, and they sell you stuff. They talk about you got to get all of these different things in place. They fill your head up with all of this stuff to where it's just overload, and you never get started. And you're like, am I ever going to get my business moving? Or you got your business moving, but it just doesn't seem like it's just getting over that hump. Like it's just not really moving in the direction that you wanted to move in. And I have those types of things, and I've learned that especially with when you have a business that's successful or has some success, what do you have to do to get it over those other levels? I'm going to talk about some of those in this video, so you're going to want to pay attention. Get your coffee like I got. I'm going to take some sips, and we're going to get right into it. So number one, the first thing, and when I look down, I'm looking at my notes here, is not enough people to talk to about their product or service. That's the number one. That's like the number one fear. That's why businesses advertise. That's why you are watching this video. That's why you try different things. That's why you post on social media. You do all types of things because you know that the business is not going to continue unless you have more people to talk to. And number two is any not wait not a good or no follow-up process at all. I'm going to talk about what you can do to get that taken care of, but I find that a lot of businesses, they don't even take this serious. Like if first, I wish I would have took this more serious when I first got started about a follow-up process. It just makes a huge difference in your business when everything is when you start to see how money is generated, how uh, people will come back to you that maybe wasn't ready before when they talk to you. And then the third one, which is like one of the is like the fear. This is like that inner fear that people have, is that they don't know how to sell. Like when you think about it, there are very few actual salespeople. There's a lot of order takers. Uh, I, car dealers. I'm going to use some examples. A car dealer or a car salesman, are they really an order taker? Because didn't the car dealership do everything to get them in? All they did is really just kept talking to the person and, giving them. But, and I'm going to go into more detail on if you are afraid of sales, how to solve that whole thing. You're going to love this part of when I get to it. But car salesmen, they think that they're selling, but are they really just taking orders? Because if someone isn't going to get the car, they're not going to get the car. If they don't like the car, they're not going to buy the car. Uh, a lot of things. go into it and they think that they're actually talking people into buying something, but they're really not. So let's start with number one. Not enough people to talk to about their product or service. You are probably in this position right now because you're watching this video. When when thinking about this, I'm going to give you a story of what happened with me when I was with one of my businesses, the credit repair shop. When I started that business, I had a goal. Like I said, I want this to be an online type business. Even though we provide a service, I have employees for that business, but I wanted it to be generated income from online. Like we got our customers online. And I wanted it to be a nationwide company because I have a local company and I know the limits of when you have a local company. And so I was like, I want to have a big, huge national company. And so the first thing that I thought about was, okay, well, I got to get people to talk to about the service. And so I was trying all of these different things and different ways of advertising. And I was like, you know, I bought leads from companies. I advertised on radio, advertised in newsprint, did all these different things. And not to say that those things are not good, but what I was doing is I was doing it wrong because I was actually just trying to market myself out there. I was not doing what's called lead generation. And some people don't know the difference. And I even admit I used to do it when I had started my magazine, Blue Book Milwaukee, in 1990. I was doing lead generation, but I didn't really recognize it. But when I started doing my online business, because you can actually know in a different way than you would back when the internet wasn't around and cell phones and all of the different tools that you could use to actually generate leads. It's like it was like more of a gray area back then, but now it's like black and white. You know if you are generating leads and you know if you're not generating leads. And the best way to think about it is if you're running advertisements and you're sending them to your website, sending them to see your product or service, they're not buying, or they're not buying in high numbers. And then you don't have people who are even really inquiring, or you might have one or two people who are inquiring, but you spent all of this money, you see all of these views, you see all of these clicks, and you're like, what is the real result? Are they sending it to people who really like my product or service? Like, why doesn't it match with the clicks and the views with my sales and my inquiries about my product or service? Why is it not matching? It's because you're not doing it the right way. You actually think you're doing lead generation, but you're actually trying to sell. And that is the big, like, that's the difference between what I do now and even what I did back then when my wife and I started our publication. Yes, we went into a place to try to sell them, but it was more about interest. Would you be interested? And so when you market your business, especially if you're on a low budget, especially if you're a one man or woman show, or you're getting things off the ground, you should just advertise to generate leads because you're going to be able to do so much with those leads after you get them. You're going to be able to, number one, follow up on them. You're going to be able to follow up if you want by phone, email, text, all of these different ways that you'll be able to follow up on that lead. Then the other thing, the other side of it is that with your leads, you can actually do testing on different specials, different sales pitches, because you already have them. You don't have to pay to get them again. So you utilize those leads and you start to figure out, okay, I'm going to advertise, generate leads, and then I'm going to see what I can do to get them to buy. And there's several different levels. I won't go into it in this video, but there's several different levels that you can actually do testing on people who have opted in that will blow your mind because you'll be like, I didn't even know that they were thinking about that. I didn't even know that they were thinking, looking at what I was offering to them that way. The next one, not good or no follow-up process in place at all, or they don't have a good one. When I figured this out for my credit repair company, I do this for all of my businesses now, but the credit repair company was the one that I actually really honed in and kind of perfected the follow-up process. I had saw, uh, just like you, I was watching people online and they talked about email follow-up, or back then it was mostly email. Now they're talking about text, doing a sales funnel, a sales process. People talked about it a lot and they said it was like the big thing. And every time that I had started putting one in place, it was just like some type of roadblock. It was either a software roadblock or just where it's like, what do I say? What do I do? And so what ended up happening is I just said, okay, I want to build this business. Like a lot of things that you're going to do is you're going to have to like buckle down and you're going to have to say to yourself, if I want to do this, I'm going to have to put in the time to do this. And that is a follow-up process. You got to put it in place because that's just like having another employee who will say and do at the time you want, say what you want to say exactly the way you want it said, say it at the time of day that you want it said, and do it over and over and over and over without complaining. That's what a follow up process is to you. That's the benefit to you. And then it also helps you make sales for your business. When I realized that, it was like, I need to pay attention and I need to put it in place. And what I did is I just put little steps. Like first I had four. I had made some videos. You don't have to make videos. You can make little bitty uh, uh, articles. Not long articles. Just talking about what your product or service is. Put them in the email. What I did is I made a video, posted it to YouTube, that ended up being like a huge win without me even knowing it. And I was basically using it as a video storage platform. So I would post a video on YouTube, and then I would download the video, put it on my website, on my blog on my website, and I would write a little bit of article about what that video was about. And then I would put how to either opt in or to buy my service. I did that, started out with four. Right now, I have over 63 of them. 63, but I have hundreds. I think I have almost 400 videos now. Uh, but I have, yeah, about 63 different emails that go out every 3 days. So when someone becomes a lead for my company, for the credit repair shop, they are given an email every 3 days that talks about a problem that we know that people with credit repair problems have, but we talk about a specific problem. And then we invite them to click through and to either sign up for our service. And then on the other part of that, that's something that we do every day. And I've done it since 2008 every day. And a lot of people they're like afraid to do this. But if you think about it, if you want your business to be number one, if you believe that you need to be successful, you have to stay out there in front of potential customers. Because if they've opted in and they said, I'm interested in what you got, but for some reason, I just didn't buy it yet. that individual one day will wake up, be upset, and decide to buy. I see this all the time. So what I do is I send out a daily email blast from my main service every day. And you might have to do some playing around on what's the best time to do it. I do it at 4 or 5 p.m. Central every day for my main product, and that's with the credit repair company. And it works wonders. Like people will sign up without talking to anyone. They will pull out their credit card, just like I imagined it back in '06 when I was putting all of this together. That people were getting the email, watching the content, clicking to the order form, and pulling out their credit card and ordering. That means that that individual, from all of the processes that I put in place, without talking to anyone, felt confident to give me their money without talking to me. A lot of businesses don't have that experience. There are products that are just a flat, regular product that a person knows that's what I want, and they still don't fill out the cart and order it. You've probably done it before. Something made you back out. So you have to always stay in front of that person because they will eventually say either I want that product. Like here's a good example. This watch here, this is a Versace watch. I had saw it uh, in with Saks Fifth Avenue, Chicago, the main store down in Chicago, downtown, and they kept remarketing like this watch was like following me around the internet. Now they use remarketing tools to do that, and you can learn to do that, but that's going to be a little bit more expensive because you're going to have to invest in that. But the way that I tell you how to remarket, same way, but it's just a different way, same thing, but a different way, which is by email. But they kept showing me this watch. And I went ahead and bought that watch. And then there was another one that I just got for my birthday on the 29th that I was just watching. And then all of a sudden I got it. So they made 700 bucks on me, uh, you know, when because they stayed in front of me. And when I was ready to make that buying decision, I went straight to who kept putting that in my face. Other department stores have the same watch. So a follow-up process is very, very, very important. You got to get that in place. Let's go to the next one. Don't know how to sell. This is a biggie. This is you know, I was watching a video, or it was I forget what it was, but he was talking about that business owners are introverts, where you really don't want to do it, but you make yourself do it because the business is bigger than you are. So you will actually just say, "Hey, I'm gonna have to do it." In a way, that's what I had to do when I started my publication in 1990. It was like, I don't, am I really the type to go out there and sell? Even though I had did some sales as a kid, I had sold door to door some this doorbell. It was like a lock slash doorbell. People would put it on their door, and uh, I don't know. It's hard to explain. No one would buy this now, but back then, that was like big time technology. It had a chain on it, but it was a doorbell. Yeah, it was a doorbell with a chain on it. People put it on their door on the inside, and then it had another piece on the outside where you can ring the door. I don't know. I don't remember that. But another one that I did was with my grandmother, Granny. She would make these crochet flowers, red ones and white ones. and we would go to the churches on Mother's Day and we would sell them. Now, we came up with this sales pitch, me and my other cousins, and we were probably 8, 9, 10 years old when we did this. And we would walk up to people and we would say, dead or alive. And they would say, what do you mean dead or alive? And then we would have the flowers in our hand. We said, if your mother is alive, you get the red one. If she's dead, you get the white one. And they would buy it from, they'd be like, okay, that one, how much? $2. And we would sell those church to church all day. And I the lesson from that was that you just again need people to talk to, because everybody didn't buy them, but you need people to talk to, and you will end up making sales, and then you come up with a way that will uh, come up from trial and error, like we just talked about with the follow-up process, and what we talked about with generating leads, is that it's important because it will allow you different ways to, or allow you to utilize different sales pitches, different ways of saying what you had to offer to people who are already on your list. Basically, we were really, in essence, doing that when we came up with the dead or alive. And you talk about some kids that came up with that. I mean, 9 and 10-year-old kids, because we had heard people say, no, no. You want to buy a flower? No. You want to buy a flower? No. Dead or alive? What do you mean dead or alive? Your is your mother dead or alive? This is Mother's Day. Buy this one if she's dead. Buy this one if she's alive. So we did that. Now, uh, don't know how to sell. Let me let you in on a huge, big secret that that I'm really realizing about sales. Now, when it comes to sales, there are people who, like, I will talk to people, explain stuff to them. I have this way of connecting with them as a salesperson. So you do have to have a connection to be a salesperson. But something that people don't understand is that you really don't talk people into buying things. People already want to do something with what you're already doing. Excuse me. People are already somehow interested in what you have. It's just that whatever point they're at in whatever amount of risk, or whatever um, how bad they want to change that situation, at some point it can flip to where they're more on the side of doing something about it rather than just staying where they're at. And so I tell people, this is like, don't be afraid of selling people. Just talk about what you had to offer. Focus more on getting more people to talk to, having the processes in place to follow up with people, explain to them what you have, and some of them will buy, some of them won't. And I've tried different ways of thinking that I can talk people into stuff, and it just doesn't work. Talking people into stuff, people think that they talk people into it, but really what it was, they were wanting to do something. And yeah, they might, if you know them and you're close to them, they might have the trust factor, may allow them to jump into something or buy something from you that they probably wouldn't get from someone else. But the trust factor is actually built in the follow-up process. So you might be thinking, well, okay, Steve, I don't like selling to people, but I don't buy nothing from someone I don't trust, and other people don't buy stuff from people they don't trust. And but so how do I overcome that? You overcome that with your follow-up process. There's a lot of people, when I do my follow ups, they think that I'm personally talking to them, when really it's my automation that I've put in place to talk to them. But in essence, they are talking to me, because when I write things and when I do, like even this video here for you, I'm really doing it for that one individual who wants to change their life. I cannot, like, try to think of thousands of people. It would be like I would that's where information overload comes in. I try to sit down and I say, if I were you in your seat, these are the steps that I would take so I could at least start getting some wins. So now everybody, but a lot of people, when they think about where they're at with their business, they actually think about it from problem number three. They don't really look at it from problem number one to two to three. They look at it actually from number three to one, and they sometimes just disregard number two. Uh, so let me explain. You're probably thinking right now, I want to have a huge business. I want to make millions of dollars or thousands of dollars. I want to quit my 9 to 5 job. I want these changes in my life. I want to wake up and I have money that came in from people who gave me their credit card. I want to wake up and I have people who filled out a form and they want to talk to me about my product or service. Or they're interested in my product or service, and I want them to keep looking at what I had to offer so they can become customers of my product or service. People start on number three. But the thing is that how do you get sales? How do you, if you don't know how to sell, how do you make sales? If you don't have any sales, how do you make sales? And the way to do that is these three are all interconnected. And when I talk about that puzzle, like you have the box, the puzzle, I don't have a box here, but you have the box. You're the box. And all of the pieces are within you to make your business successful. But the puzzle is mixed up, scrambled up. And there's only three pieces to get you going. I'm not talking about building it all the way up. I'm talking about just so you can get success and you start making money, not losing money. Is that you have the three pieces right there in front of you, but they're just all out of place and you keep trying to put them together. Even though there's three pieces, you can't get those to work. You can't get success. And then how that box, that puzzle end up getting with more pieces in it to where it really messes your mind up is that you see something from someone online and say, I have this big success with this business. And then either you try to do that business, which throws another puzzle piece in your box, stopping you from doing the business that you want to do, and you try to do something else. Or you see how they say, well, you need to do this to market your business. It's going to blow up all of this stuff. And you throw that piece in there, and then all of a sudden you got five pieces, and you're like, this is not working. So what I'm trying to do is get you focused, or what I'm doing is getting you focused. The person who I'm talking to who's ready to get their business off and going is take those other two pieces out, and we're going to focus on number one, number two, and number three, which is number one, not having enough people to talk to, flipping that around, how to generate leads, how to generate leads of people who are interested in your product or service. Number two, not good or no follow-up process in place. How to put a follow-up process in place. The tools that I use, which is one tool to put that follow-up system in place, and what to say in that follow-up system. Number three, don't know how to sell. How to sell your product or service, the way to say it, the way people want to see it, and how to test and how to do some things to find out what people want you to say. If you have those three things in place, you will be able to be successful in your business. So I'm inviting you, I'm going to close out the video here. I'm inviting you to click the link below this video, check out my uh, 3-step social lead form process, because I'm going to show you exactly how to do all of this. I'm going to show you step by step how to generate leads so you have plenty of people to talk to. I'm going to show you exactly how to follow up on those leads. And I'm going to also show you what you can do to make sales with your product or service. And I'm going to show you how to do that on a small budget. I'm going to show you how to do it on a medium budget. I'm going to show you how to do it on a large budget. But the biggest thing is that I'm not going to try to throw other pieces into your box. This will be uh, a program that you will say it was well worth the money because I was able to implement what Steve told me to do, and this stuff works. So please click the link either above or below this video. If you're on YouTube, the links are down in the comment right before the comment box. And if you have your questions, please post your questions or comments. I mean, I'll answer them. I mean, I'm here for you. I want to answer them for you, and I wish you success for your business. And I want to thank you for your time. And please have a great and successful day and continue working on your business. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of Blue Book Milwaukee and More Lead Steve. Thank you.